Hi, my name is Robin Wong. I'm a photographer based in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. In this video, I want to talk about wide-angle compact prime lenses for micro four thirds system. We have the excellent Olympus 12 F2, Panasonic 14 F2.5, and Panasonic 15 F1.7. Let's do this! Previously, I've made a video to talk about the three popular Olympus prime lenses before: the 17 f1.8, 25 f1.8, and 45 f1.8. I'll put a link to the video up here. Please check it out if you have not done so. I received many comments in that video asking me how about the other prime lenses, say the Panasonic 15 f1.7, the Olympus 12 f2. These are excellent lenses as well. I cannot put too many lenses in the list for comparison. That will drag the video too long, and when you have too many lenses, it gets really confusing. So I will have to narrow them down to just three. For this particular video, we will look at the wide-angle options: Olympus 12 f2, Panasonic 14 f2.5, and Panasonic 15 f1.7. Do bear in mind, my opinion is subjective. There's no right and wrong. Pick and choose whichever lens that works for you, and it is not really a fair comparison. A 12mm is a 12mm, a 14mm is a 14mm. You can't really compare a 12mm to a 15mm. These are two very different lenses. Well, I'm just sharing my experience having used these lenses extensively over the years, and I hope that they can benefit you or help you to choose which lens to buy if you're looking into these options. Let's start with the Olympus 12mm F2. Of all the three options we have today, this is the widest option. If you need the widest coverage possible, you want to fit as much as you can within the frame, you want a true wide angle, then I believe this Olympus 12mm F2 is the option for you. It is equivalent in 24mm for full frame format. That should be wide enough for most wide angle shooting. Also, this is the most expensive option of all the three lenses we have today. So if you're gonna get this, you gotta be really sure that you really want this lens. The lens is made of metal in construction. It is very solid in hand. It does have manual focusing clutch, which is very convenient if you do a lot of manual focus, or if you want to do zone focusing for street photography, for example. And the manual focusing clutch also has the focusing indicator, the distance indicator. So if you want to do like quickly focus to infinity, it also helps you to get there quickly. I believe this is an excellent lens. It is really sharp. I get amazing image quality out of it. I have very little complaint using this Olympus 12 f2. The only drawback, I think, is that this lens may be redundant if you already have the excellent Olympus 12-40 f2.8 Pro lens. I know it is not a fair comparison. This is a prime lens and the 12-40 Pro is a zoom lens, but a lot of people do have that lens, especially if you buy it as a kit that comes together with the EM1 series cameras, right? And that lens is excellent. It also has 12mm coverage, and it starts at f2.8, which is already amazing. I know f2.8 versus f2 still will give you some advantage if you're shooting a lot in low light, but the 12-40 is a zoom lens. Yes, the 12-40 Pro is also a lot larger. This 12mm f2 is really compact. So if you really do want to get this lens, get it for the compact size because you really want to minimize the footprint of a wide-angle compact prime, and you're very sure that you shoot a lot with wide angle and you do a lot of low light with the f2 bright aperture. It does give you some advantage over f2.8. I still see some value using this 12 f2, but for me, to be really honest, if I have the 12-40 f2.8 Pro, if I use that lens a lot, and if that's my main lens, I'll probably skip this 12 to f2 prime lens. Next, we have the Panasonic 14mm F2.5. This is the smallest and most compact of all autofocus lenses for Micro Four Thirds system. If you mount this Panasonic 14 on any Micro Four Thirds cameras, it is as if you have nothing on the camera at all. I love to use this 14 F2.5 pancake on my Olympus 10 Mini EPM1. That setup is so compact, it is so portable, I can put it in my pocket, I can bring it everywhere with me. It doesn't take any space in the camera bag or any bag at all. And that's the philosophy of Micro Four Thirds. And this lens really, truly represents what Micro Four Thirds stands for. Of course, being such a tiny lens, there are some compromises. It is not a perfect lens. In fact, of all the three lenses we have today, this Panasonic 14 is the most inferior when it comes to image quality. It is not the sharpest of all these three. It does have some severe purple fringing issues if you shoot against high contrast areas, and the flare on this lens is quite bad as well. Having said that, all these flaws and imperfections, I can still forgive it if you can find one at such a low price now in the used market, and it's still so small and so compact. It still does produce really good image quality, and I would rather use this than the kit lens in a lot of situations. At f2.5, there's still a big advantage over a kit lens that starts, say, at f3.5. And finally, we have the Panasonic 15mm F1.7. I have to be honest, of all the three choices we have in this video today, my choice for the one lens to do it all, if I were to pick one for street photography, to do casual shooting, hang out with my friends, just one lens, that lens will be this Panasonic 15mm F1.7. My reasons are very simple. Because this is not the widest of the bunch, I really don't like to use too wide of an angle. It just fits too much in the background unnecessarily. I want a tighter composition. I want to manage the distortion a little bit better. And this Panasonic 15 allows me to do just that. Of all the three lenses, this Panasonic 15mm F1.7 also renders the shallowest depth of field. You can blur the background a little bit better, and of all the three lenses, this Panasonic 15mm 1.7 allows better subject isolation. It separates the subject from the background a little bit better. And this is an excellent lens. With my experience shooting with it on the street, doing it for my videos, you've seen a lot of the B-rolls shown in this video were taken with this Panasonic 15mm F1.7. The results were sharp, the image quality is excellent, I have no complaints whatsoever. This is a highly, highly recommended lens, and I think in terms of image quality, it is very close to Olympus 12 F2. Again, it is not a fair comparison. 12 is 12, 15 is 15. You put them together, it just can't. It's like comparing apples to oranges. But if I were to really compare and pixel peep, I would say the image quality is very close. Sharpness is very close. Contrast is very close. Technical flow controls, they are very, very close as well. I don't see much difference shooting between the 15 F1.7 Panasonic versus the Olympus 12 F2. This is just in terms of preference. I would choose this 15 because it is not too wide. Oh, and I almost forgot, if you shoot this Panasonic 15 on a Panasonic Micro Four Thirds body, then you will have the aperture ring control. You can control the f number on the lens itself. That is something that you cannot do if you shoot this Panasonic 15 on an Olympus body. This brings us back to the original question, which lens to choose between the Olympus 12 F2, Panasonic 14 F2.5, or the Panasonic 15 F1.7. If you need the widest lens, if you shoot a lot in wide angle, if you do a lot of wide angle shooting in low light, for example, interiors or architecture, or shooting people shots at night, you need that wide angle coverage and you need fast aperture, then I think the 12f2 gives you the best value. Is excellent at 12mm. It gives bright aperture at f2, which will give you a lot more advantage than, say, using the Olympus 12-40 Pro lens. Now, if you're looking for the smallest lens, if you want a minimal setup, if you want the smallest footprint possible using micro four thread system, and if you have tiny camera bodies like the Olympus Pen Mini or the Pen Lite, EPL7, EPL8 or EPL9, then pairing it with the 14 f2.5 Panasonic pancake lens makes sense. The Panasonic 14 is the smallest, most compact prime lens of all micro four thirds. And I think it is an excellent lens for what it is. Just bear in mind there are some compromises when it comes to image quality. Other than that, I think 15 f1.7 is my go-to lens because it is not too wide. If you want a normal lens, the one lens to do it all, an everyday lens, I think the Panasonic 15 f1.7 is the excellent go-to lens. May I remind you that at the end of the day, there are no right and wrong choices, whether you get the Olympus 12f2, Panasonic 14 f2.5 or the Panasonic 15 f1.7. These are all excellent lenses. You can't go wrong getting either one. It all comes down to your personal preferences, what you do with your photography and your shooting style. We are all different photographers. The important thing is, once you get the lens, whichever lens, bring it out with you, take more photographs. At the end of the day, that's all that truly matters. Whichever lens you own, just go out and shoot more. That's all I have to talk about the Olympus 12f2 versus Panasonic 14 f2.5 versus Panasonic 15 f1.7. I'm sure a lot of you have owned at least one of these lenses or more before, or if you're still actively shooting with them, please share your experience using these lenses in the comments below. I'm sure it'll benefit other people who are looking to get any one of these lenses. If you found my sharing beneficial, please consider buying me a cup of coffee, or you can contribute directly to my PayPal. Links in description below on how you can do that. Any small contribution will help me to continue making content, will keep this place alive, will keep me alive, and I can publish more videos here in this channel. Please also give me a thumbs up, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll definitely see you again in the next one. Until then, remember to go out and take more photographs. Bye-bye.